Right now. It should be an interesting year this year for the Eagles. They have got some new talent. There's about 12 new players. So they've got a nice mix of veterans and rookies. So the main key is that how quick can the Eagles gel together and play as a unit. They played up in the Logan Lakers last weekend up in BC. And there definitely was huge improvement from the first game to the second game. So it'll be interesting to see how they can carry that over tonight. Again, Tyler Pisani will be joining me here pretty quick. We got the Ore Diggers from Montana Tech in Butte, Montana up here for tonight and tomorrow. So if you couldn't make it out tonight, which there is a huge crowd out here. It's a whiteout night for the Eagles. And this place is packed. We got them all. The seats are full. They're in the catwalk. The Roost restaurant is crammed with people, so it's a great turnout tonight. The festivities earlier, that from about 5 o'clock they started, there was the tailgate section out in front of the URC where the Eagles play their game, and that was well attended also. So what we got here, we got John Bedurk is out there on forward. It looks like Robbie Arbor will be out there along with Sean Smith. He'll be taking the draw. On defense, we have Liam McGowan And it looks like Josh Boot. And we got the puck off. Won by the Eagles. Big hit right off the bat. That was the Durkas. He comes in. Good start for the Eagles. McGowan shot the puck all the way around the net. Nice heads up. And here comes the Order Diggers chasing. McGowan has it. Kicks it over to Don Durkas. Try to get a Smith. He did. He poked it up to Robbie Arbor. He comes in 1-on-2. Took a shot, ricocheted off of Ratch from the Order Diggers. Big hit by Durkas right off the bat. Puck floats in. Keegan Clark gets it, kicks it in the neutral zone. Tried to get it to Carson Kendall, but he got taken out by Curry. Puck's in the neutral zone. Stopped by the Eagles. Sterling Myers has it. He's bringing it in. He takes a quick shot down on net. Carson Kendall took his man out. Puck's on the near boards. Order Diggers in the neutral zone. Stolen by Sterling Meyer. He kicked it up to Jared Jelinek. He tried to get a pass on over to Joel Lusk. A little too far, but Lusk did end up getting it. Shot it all the way other side. Now it's in the neutral zone. Eagles just put it in the zone. And Joel Lusk gives chase on the Order Digger. He ties him up nicely. We've got Eli Nickish down there. Quick little hand pass, and that was by Russell. He was trying to just knock the puck down and went a little bit too far, and the Eagles touched it up. Again, my name's Gary Allen. I'll be joined by our play-by-play announcer, Tyler Pisani, any minute. Eli Nix is taking the draw for Eastern, and it looked like Shake took it for the Order Diggers. Won by the Eagles, and they just dumped it into the zone. Nikic gives chase. Got Bunch gives chase. He kicks it on out to Russell, who gave it over to Kowalik, and he dumped it in behind the Order Diggers net. And they'll tie it down in the zone. And we got to cut off. I don't know. Tyler came up. He decided he was going to do some alterations on the mic. I don't know what we're doing up here. I think it's working.
Here I am just trying not to make everybody hear me put on my headset. And I'm just breaking the broadcast. Gary, we're back.
It is. Yeah, we have no technical difficulty except that little blip right
except
there.
for me.
I wasn't going to throw your name out on it. Yeah, it'll be interesting this year, Tyler. Watch these guys at camp and then watching them on video up there in Logan last week. And they got some talent. They got some nice young players in here.
Well, it'll be good to see kind of what happens here. A lot of new faces out here on the ice today, as you mentioned.
Well, they got 12 new players.
I mean, that is not a big hit there at the blue line by one of those new players, Parker Waite, local kid from Spokane, played for the Spokane Junior Chiefs. He's actually, Parker's been out here all summer long skating with the younger Junior Chiefs teams that have been practicing out here at Eastern while Rink 1 at Eagles and Spokane has been down. So it's great to see that we've got these new players in here, and they're not afraid to get involved, not afraid to hang out with the kids, and really help kind of make a year of it here. We've got a lot of boys on this team this year that aren't afraid to go out and help us bring fans into the game. They aren't afraid to go out and work off of the ice as well. Pass right out front. Best opportunity of the night for Eastern Washington. And Robbie Arver heads towards the near post, and it looks like he's going to draw a penalty. So we have our first penalty of the season, and it's a slash against Etham Elam. Well, Eastern Washington on the penalty or on the power play.
I was not going to bring that up. That was one thing I was hoping that they could corral a little bit. But that's all right. Arbor likes to throw his body around. Sometimes he's going to get called.
Well, no, when they Arbor crashed that net, got past the defender, and looks like he just frustrated Elam. So now Eastern Washington a chance to get on the board first here this season. That one bounces up and over the top of the net. down low into the corner. Eagles go back up top to Dom. DeZerkis over to the far side. Couple of steps in. Fed to the back post, and what a kick save by the netminder, but there it is. One word, 4 letters. Yeet, yeet, goal.
I have no idea.
That goal calls for a very select group of this audience, but those that get it will get that one.
Because I messed
Because we
up.
talked about it, Gary. We said, hey, we're not going to have technical difficulties.
That was totally my fault right there. I'm hitting buttons. I shouldn't be playing with this computer at all. Oh, why are you showing me?
There we go. And just like that, a power play goal on the board for Eastern Washington.
That was outstanding. And that's one thing Eastern's had trouble with the last couple years is they got off to a slow start. This is good to see him get out, jump out quickly. But I've watched the Ore Diggers. They gave Boise State a good run, so there's a lot of hockey left, but it's good to see the Eagles get on the board early.
Another hit down low in the corner here. And we'll have another stoppage in play as both teams going to get some fresh skates out on the ice.
But that was good to see Kowalik pinch in on that when he saw his line mate had the puck behind the net, and he just kind of crept in from that blue line and got a nice little one-timer off. So it's good to see Nate, pinching in and helping out on the offense.
The official goal call on that first goal for Eastern Washington, Sean Smith opening up his goal account here for Eastern Washington. Now let's see if we can take a look back at the replay here at the next stoppage. Another dangerous puck out front. Now Eastern having to chase it back up out into neutral ice. And we have a stoppage. We'll see if we're able to get back to that replay. And we see them. They lined up there. As it goes back up to the top of the zone, a little down low, and just that dangerous puck out front. They tell you get that puck to the front of the net, and that's exactly what they did. As here comes back to the far side, tipped, and as we say that, Luke Chubiala diving on a puck on this side.
Well, Chubiala had a good game up in Logan. He split duties with Anderson, and both of them played extremely well in that second game. There's no question about it. So I expect a lot out of Chubiala this year. I really do. I think now that he's had a year under his belt in this league, realizing what he needs to do, I see him making some good strides, along with some other players that now this is their second year. And you can see it right now. They're swarming extremely well. They're putting a ton of pressure on the Ore Diggers D, man. Here they come breaking out right now. Nickish, Jacob, he had the puck and a nice intercept by the Ore Diggers, but I like how Eastern's attacking right now.
And again, something we've become used to in this building, Eastern Washington, despite the new coach, despite the new philosophy, still not afraid to throw the body around, especially early on in this one.
Well, I noticed when I watched Boise State play the Diggers, they like to throw the body also. So it's good that Eastern can respond to that because there's a couple teams, Tyler, in the Pac-8, that's what they do. They just like to take the physicality to everybody. And so it's good to see Eastern answering.
Well, and you always expect that from the teams from Montana as well. They're always going to be physical. Bouncing puck out front and covered up by the Orediger netminder. Some extracurriculars right in front of him.
Well, Parker Wade, he was just telling them to make sure they go down to the barrel house at the end of the game. I must compliment you, man. You're looking sharp. You're wearing a suit and all that. We should have had you on the screen instead of my face. You're all dressed up, looking dapper.
Well, I figure I could dress up for one game a year. If they put me in front of everybody, at least I can look a little sharp. And now a chance for the Oredigers heading the other way as McCarthy gains the zone, looks to put it across, and it's tipped directly back to Luke in net for his second save of the night. Good passing by Eastern Washington, getting that puck right out front. Another opportunity there at the near post by Clark. He's knocked down behind the play. The referee's right there. They're going to let this play. It's always good early in the season to let the teams kind of shake it out. You have some officials that are still willing to call it like it's Game 7 of the finals on opening night, and it's nice to see that the officials out here tonight are letting them play a little bit.
Well, you figure there's going to be some jitters all the way around. So, yeah, it's good to let them just flow with it. They'll control themselves. But I just noticed we got a special guest. Swoop is here. He showed up. That's
we found Swoop.
Yeah, he was right down here. Big crowd here.
I mean, anybody that's anybody is here at the URC in Cheney tonight. We still have people walking in the door. Dangerous puck out front, trying to cram it in that near post, and the Oredigers unable to. Now an in and out of the glove, or in the glove of Luke Shachubiala.
Again, I think you're going to see a whole different person this year. I think he's getting more comfortable with how the action is. Before we end up, we got to give a shout out to Addie. She's back here on camera again. You got to have her. She does an outstanding job for us.
This one pushed up ahead now to center ice. Arver gets it. Big 6 2" forward there for Eastern Washington. Just kind of slaps at it right into the midsection of the Orediger netminder.
I tell you, some of the new guys that I was watching in camp and that, you got Stetcher, Parker Waite is going to be a talent for him. Same with Liam McGowan's, Russell. They got some good talent here. They just got to get used to how this game plays, but I'm looking forward to those players right now.
Well, and we talk about this every year. The ACHA is just kind of a very interesting organization, the way that the season is structured. It's a lot like youth hockey where, yes, the regular season does matter. At the end of the year, there's 2 teams that go straight from the regular season to nationals. But for everybody else, they're vying for those regional spots. And for Eastern Washington and for Montana Tech, those regional spots come in the form of a postseason tournament in the Mountain West and the Pac-8. And obviously the Pac-8 conference championship here in Cheney every year. So we are lucky enough to be able to watch that, host that, be a part of that. But really these first few games of the year, as much as they matter for rankings, really it's just a feeling out because you could come into those tournaments at the end of the year dead last. And we saw this a couple of years ago here in Cheney when USC, number 8 seed, knocked off UW, who was the number 1 seed, expected to make regionals coming into that tournament. They really just needed one win that weekend to secure their spot. Lost in that first game and missed out on regionals.
Well, and you hit it on the head. What you hope to do, especially with so many new players, is you use the first month and a half, get used to each other, figure out your system, especially now with Joe White coming in. Learn each other, and then really start bolstering yourself around November, start kicking it up. So all games matter, but you're really starting to zero in on how are you going to try to get a seed if you can't win your division.
We've got a pile up back behind everything there. Puck still deep in the Orediger zone. It's going to squirt back past the end line.
But I really like what I'm seeing out East right now. They're suffocating the Orediggers right now. They're not giving him any chance to set up and regroup. Right there, you got Nickish. She's chasing the D-man behind the net. He just dumped around and almost lost it. So it's pretty apparent Eastern's going to do an attacking style, and that's going to bode well with the talent they have.
Another big hit back below the goal line. Eastern Washington with a heavy forecheck. They've really got Montana Tech kind of planted in their zone for the first half of this opening period. Here comes Clark. He can't get there as the first player there is McKay for the Ore Diggers. And a big hit after the shot next to the net.
Jacob Niptich just blew the Ore Digger up there.
Yeah, it looks like that was Riley Kelly that got the shot off and got a little bit blindsided there by Nickish. Now the Ore Diggers with some speed as Carrier going to take it all the way around right towards the front. And what a block there by Luke in net. Chubiala's 5th save of the contest so far. Eastern doubling up Tech in shots here early on. Far side goes Bunch. He's planted into the wall. Puck sent up along the wall on the far side. And again, with another touch is Carrier. Karchern knocked off of the puck. It's going to go over to the far side. Holland for Tech. He's going to rim it around. Has a couple of players on the near side. Out front and just a bit too tall. That's going to go all the way to the top of the zone through traffic. And Luke Benoit is the one that puts that on net. And for those of you watching at home that haven't been able to figure it out yet, Eastern Washington in the in the white and red trimmed uniforms, moving from left to right, and the Ore Diggers in a black and orange configuration, moving from right to left. So if you're looking for that green.
I got to give them credit, Tyler. There's some sharp-looking unis. I'm so used to anyone out of Butte area, green and white.
Another big save by Chubiala there right at the post.
Chubiala's on his game tonight. He's made a couple of tough saves.
Well, you mentioned it. He's got a year in this league now, and he's he's used to the intensity here. And that's helping him a bit. He understands, what those rebounds are going to look like, where the guys are going to be in front of him.
And that's one of the biggest adjustments that I tell anyone that's new is the speed of the game and the physicality is going to be different than what you're used to unless you're coming from like a junior A or something. And it takes about a year for people to adjust, but most people will. And that you can see with Chubiala, he's on it tonight. He's playing extremely well.
That one's going to get sent all the way down the ice. First player there in a black uniform is going to be Benoit.
And did you pick up who's in net for the Ore Diggers? It's 35, but they don't have a 35 listed on the roster here that I have. So I'm not sure who's in net for Montana Tech. But we will get that information to you, and we'll let you know who's in it. He's had a good game, too. He's been facing some serious shots. But what you were talking about, Tyler, how Eastern has the Ore Diggers kind of plotted, they're also just making – the Ore Diggers are chasing the Eagles right now because they don't know really how to stop their speed, and that bodes well for Eastern also.
I mean, we talked about it. The first 14-ish minutes of this game has almost exclusively been on the right side of that center stripe, minus the occasional rush down the ice like this. But then Eastern Washington picks up the puck, passes it up and out of their zone. Dom with a new number this year, taking over what was Frank Flood's number 8. He's saddled up with that big, heavy letter A on his left shoulder there, one of the assistant captains for this season. You get a new head coach in here, and they want to see what the leadership shakes out to be.
Yeah.
So we've got 3 assistant captains right now. Jared Jelinek, Dom Dezerkis, and Robbie Arver. And here comes Joel Lusk. Takes it right into the glove of the Ore Digger netminder.
That's a kid there. I think you're going to see a breakout year for him. He's been in it now. This is his 3rd year. He has all the offensive skills in the world. I think you're going to see him put up a lot of points this year for Eastern. And it's good to see Smitty get that goal too, because I really like that kid. He's another guy that's been in the system for a couple of years. Each year he's improved, and I think he's going to have a breakout season also on the points.
Good pass out towards the front by the Eagles. And now with some speed, McCarthy has it, pushes it slightly ahead to Elam. Elam, the only one on the score sheet for Tech so far, as he took a penalty that led to the first Eastern Washington goal. That one off of the post and went behind Luke. And that one he just can't hold on to. As there to clean it up was Cade Holland.
You got to give Holland credit on that one. He didn't give up. And you're right, Luke had it, and it just kind of plopped out of his mitt. And unfortunately, he couldn't recover off of it. But again, Holland did a good job of really tracking that puck down. He went straight to the net. So you got to tip your hat to the Ore Digger on that one.
So that goal officially 15:08 of the first period. Cade Holland puts Tech even with Eastern Washington with just under 5 minutes remaining in the period. And it took a flurry of shots to get Chubiala off of his game. But just like that, back knotted up at one. Here comes Eastern the other direction. Eli Nickish has it knocked off of his puck. And then he's knocked off of the puck. And the assist on that last goal going to Colin McCarthy.
That's an old hip check style check on that one, Tyler. I don't know if you picked that up.
Yeah, a couple of big hits out here early, or in sequence here for Eastern Washington.
I think Josh Booth's the one that did that one, so that's a lost art. But now it's going to be interesting to see how Eastern, hopefully they continue with this attacking style. They got the Ore Diggers kind of discombobulated right now, so hopefully they just keep pushing, forget about that one goal that got in, and just keep moving forward on it, because they're doing an outstanding job of attacking Montana Tech.
Face-off coming directly in front of us. The crowd here very unhappy at that goal, Gary. I don't know if it came across on the broadcast, but there was some boos, there was some jeers. The crowd here very unhappy that Eastern gave up a goal early in this one, but can't be too upset as it's all knotted at one.
No, it was a good initial save. Overall, it's just unfortunate it popped out of his glove, and that will happen. But it's good to see the crowd get into it, though, because it is massive here tonight. It
is packed. There's people behind us. There's people all along the catwalk. That puck right up top of the crease, kicked towards the netminder, and Luke with good puck vision tracked that one right into his pads and then got it away.
That was a nice job of kicking out his leg too, because he got it out of harm's way by doing that. If he would have just let it sit, he might have been in trouble because they had an Ore Digger right in front of him. But nice job of kicking his leg out and getting that puck out of the way. And I found out and thank you to Dean. He sent a note. It's Carson Burkhart that's in net. We have him down at 34, but tonight he's wearing 35. But thank you, Carson, Dean, for letting us know it is Carson Burkhart in net for the Ore Diggers. And he's had an outstanding game for him.
And, speak of the devil here, Gary, all of a sudden you said that. We figured it out, solved the riddle. And then score sheets magically showed up.
Well, it was nice of Dean to give us a heads up before the score sheet showed up. But, yeah, that was nice of him for letting us know. But I'm telling you, Burkhart's had a real strong game for the Eagles. He's been facing some really tough shots.
Look at that. We got Swoop making an appearance on the broadcast here. Bouncing puck, top of the crease. Now a chance for Nate as he gets that one on. Well, it couldn't get enough of it, and now here it comes the other direction. Just a bit too small by Benoit.
Lenoff is the one that actually caused that. He had back-checked extremely well, and he wouldn't let the Ore Digger up on it, and he actually forced him to shoot the puck high. Nice job by him.
Stolen at the top of the zone. Smiley looking for his second of the contest. but not able to hold on to it. Arver and Holland come together in the near corner. That one down the ice. It's not going to be touched. That one will be an icing when it crosses the line with 2:06 left to go in the opening period.
We've got a little break in the action. So my understanding is we've got some new feature we're going to try to run tonight in between periods. We're going to have a guest player.
Yeah, stick around. We've got our new sideline locker room reporter, Reagan. She's going to be down there. She's going to talk to, I think, head coach Joe White, get his first impressions of the game, of this crowd here in Cheney. He's a local guy. He's definitely played at the URC before, or coached at the URC before, rather. And now Arver going to use his body and take that one all the way towards the goal mouth. So it'll be great to see if we can get that working and maybe bring you guys some extra interviews, some more features here. Robbie trying to feed it out front. And a good job by Burkhardt as he covers that one up. Officially his 12th save of the night so far.
No, he's had an outstanding game for the Orediggers. He really has. I mean, he's been peppered with some real, and they're not easy saves. There have been some point-blank shots. He stood up well for the Orediggers, and that's, again, I think he's the one that's making it where Eastern's only got one because he's made some outstanding saves. But again, it's that relentless pressure that Eastern's been putting on Montana Tech. And that's one adjustment, I think, of the coaching staff from Montana Tech. We'll take a look at, okay, how we're going to slow Eastern down.
Jelinek gets it out towards the center. Lusk couldn't hold on to it. Now Jelinek having to battle. He's stretched out, pinned against the wall. It's going to go up top. Shot taken through traffic. Deflected down and put in the back of the net. Jelly makes it to Jared Jelinek with just over 1 minute left in the opening period. Puts Eastern Washington back on top.
And if I'm not mistaken, Liam McGowan will get an assist on that one. He's the initial one that took the shot from the point. And I couldn't tell if it hit off the goal tender or a player. And there he was. Jelinek was right there at the right time, buried in the net. And that's a great response by Eastern. But it all was set up by McGowan on taking that shot from the point.
There you go. They're going to give the assist to McGowan and Lusk on Jelinek's goal at 18:51. Let's take a look.
So Lusk must have set that up to McGowan, who gave the shot off from the point. But again, it's that pressure Eastern's putting on Montana Tech. They did not let up. That one goal did not faze them, which is great to see out of Eastern.
And I didn't see what this penalty was to Sawyer Inman, but it's Tech back in the box, 19-15 of this first period. So they'll likely start the second period down a man. The first goal today scored by Sean Smith, who's going to take this faceoff on the power play. He gets it back to DeZerkis. DeZerkis over to the far side. Bunch touches it. He corrals it, gets it near side, and now Eastern Washington trying to cram that in at the near side was Lainov.
Lainov must have had at least four tries to push him in on the goalie, but Burkhardt did a great job of standing his ground.
DeZerkis back with it again. He's going to go across the ice, and that's going to get kicked all the way back into Eastern Washington's own zone. Some heavy forecheck pressure from Tech. As now here comes DeZerkis. He gains the blue line, trying to take on the two Orediggers in the slot, and they easily knock that one away, and they're going to send it all the way back down to Chubiawa. And now with some speed up the near side is Lusk. Lusk skates past Smith, and he's knocked off of the puck. He's still got it, puts it out front, just out of the reach of Smith. And that's going to do it for the first period. Let's take a look back at this last goal before we toss it downstairs to Reagan. You see it's pinned back against the wall in the back, goes up to the top here. And again, just crashing the net, waiting for it on that back side.
And Les did a nice job of finding McGowan so he could get the puck out to him at the point. And that was a nice one-timer by McGowan. Good heads-up play all the way around. And I'm going to have to – I got to go shoot some shirts out here, Tyler, so I'm going to miss the brand new question period, but I got faith in you.
That's okay. You go handle the shirts. At the end of the first period, it's Eastern Washington leading the Montana Tech Ore Diggers here in Cheney by a score of 2-1. A quick recap while we wait for everything happening downstairs. But that first goal scored on the power play by Sean Smith. Montana Tech answered 15:08 of the first period, courtesy of Cade Holland. And then it was Jared Jelinek opening up his scoring account this season by adding that second tally at 18:51, just over 1 minute remaining in that first period. And it looks like Reagan is ready. We'll go ahead and send it on down.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, so what kind of were first impressions of having full crowd, full stands?
Oh, it's absolutely awesome. Like, this is, the first game coaching. And we were hoping that the people would turn out for the boys. They worked really hard. And it was just really nice to see them. And just blow the roof off this thing and scored that one.
So then how do you use kind of the crowd's energy as well as coming off Sean's first goal, Jared's goal? Like, how do you use that to build momentum?
So we knew that they were going to have some low legs, right? Coming off the bus, we knew that they were going to be a little stiff, so we're going to try to take advantage of that. Everyone loves playing in front of fans and getting psyched up. So we just used the crowds like kind of emotion. The music was great. Everything was awesome. The guys did a great job. The support staff on the entrance, and we just thought I don't think we needed to do anything. They just were rolling.
Perfect. And one more question. What kind of adjustments that you make heading into the second half?
This one, we're doing some line passes that are just kind of unnecessary. And really on the power play, the biggest thing I want to see them do, calm down, slow down, take some time to really set up this.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Grace.
Up to you, Gary.
Thank you, Reagan. We'll be back here in just 15 minutes for the exciting second period of opening night here in Cheney, Washington. The Eagles leading the Ore Diggers 2-1 after 20. There we go. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for opening night between the visiting Montana Tech Ore Diggers and the hometown Eastern Washington University Eagles. Eastern up 2-1 after the first period thanks to goals from Sean Smith and Jared Jelinek. My name's Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Mr. Gary Allen. And Gary, what'd you think of that first period here?
I thought the Eagles are picking up right where they left off in the first. I thought they did an outstanding job attacking the Ore Diggers. They kept the pressure, and their back checking was outstanding, and it wouldn't really give Montana Tech any breathing room. And so I'm going to watch now to see how they make that adjustment, the Diggers, because Eastern was relentless. And if they keep doing that, they're in good shape tonight.
Well, the Ore Diggers starting off on the wrong foot here in the second period as Sawyer Inman still has to serve the remainder of his penalty to open up this frame. So they'll get him back after a minute 15. That one up and into the netting over by those fancy lights that they got set up here to welcome the boys today.
Yeah. Did you find out what the penalty was? I know we're going to check on in between.
I did not.
But no, I really like what I'm seeing Eastern doing. They're not chasing the Ore Diggers at all. And that's really good to see. They're playing some good positional hockey. They're looking for those stretch passes. The passing lanes have been excellent for Eastern. Shubiala has played just unbelievable. Same with Burkhart for the Ore Diggers. It's been an entertaining game, and the sellout crowd basically, and that's what it is. They're seeing one heck of a good hockey game.
And I just got the update. Inman's penalty was a slash, so 2 slashes in that first period for Montana Tech. The first one leading to that Sean Smith goal. And the second one, 14 seconds left on the penalty kill of the Diggers as faceoff coming just outside of their zone. Second period, long change in this building, as it is in most buildings, but it's something the Eagles have struggled with in the past. We heard from head coach Joe White at the intermission about what he expects moving forward here. We'll see if the second period doldrums continue to follow the Eagles despite new culture, new coach, new philosophy.
Right now for the first minute and 8 seconds, the Easterns are not in that doldrum. They're still putting on a relentless attack on them, and they're doing a really nice job of breaking out of their zone. And they actually own the neutral zone right now, and that's what's helping them a lot too. I'm really impressed with the Eagles right now.
And here comes Jelinek. He scored the last goal for Eastern Washington. But you mentioned it, Gary. This place is absolutely packed. You got to be quiet saying that, or the fire marshal might show up. But, we've got everything from alumni to freshman students here. I talked to a few of them just wandering around. This is the first thing they've done on campus since school started. It's a great way to do it. We've got the Dean of Students, Samantha Armstrong-Ash here. She dropped the puck. She's out corralling kids in the crowd right now, making sure that everybody's minding their P's and Q's.
But it was nice. I got a chance to see Frank Flood today. Same with Stevenson. I saw them coming in. It was good to see some of the old players that are back.
Well, and if you are out there and you want to support the team, take a look at the Eagles Hockey Booster Club, as they're responsible for a lot of what goes on here. If you're unaware, ACHA Hockey is a non-athletic, non-NCAA sport, as a big save by Chubiala there. So all of the costs associated with putting on these games, allowing the teams to play, those come right out of the pockets of the student athletes themselves. Less than 10% of the team's budget is actually funded by Eastern Washington University, and that's where the boosters step in. This year, there's 3 levels of boosters. If you're an Eagle player alumni, just $100 gets you access to every game this season, plus some special perks as a booster. If you're an individual out there, $250 is our standard booster level. But if you've got a family out there and you want to get 3 people into every game this season here at the URC, go check out the family level booster memberships at eagleshockeyboosters.com. As that one comes across the blue line just a touch too late, as an offside is called.
And do the booster clubs got the apparel store up and running?
The team's got that up and running.
Okay.
I believe that's open for another couple of weeks. If you are at home and you're watching us, though, and you want to experience this atmosphere tomorrow instead of just watching it through a computer screen, scan that QR code on your screen right now or head over to eweagleshockey.com. Get your tickets as these two teams will battle again here at the URC tomorrow night, Saturday.
Well, if tomorrow's game is interesting as today's game, it'll be outstanding.
It is. This is a heck of a way to start off the season. The first 23 minutes of this game have been some great hockey, hard-hitting, fast. There's a hit there as well as Bunch was knocked off of the puck. And Luke Benoit, he is all over the place. Dangerous puck as it's casually corralled by Jacob Nickish. And now Bunch, 16 on 16. He beats out Coates for that puck. Dawson Bunch still with it. Shot through traffic, back of the net.
Well, you got it. Bunch did an outstanding job of cycling himself, and he went all the way around, and you'll see it on the replay. But you got to give Jacob Mitchell just a ton of credit on that one. He actually got in front. He screened Burkhart on it. And Bunch did a nice job of seeing where Nickish was, and he just kind of went to the right of him and buried the puck. Outstanding job by Bunch and Nickish by really screening the netminder. Burkhart had no hope of even seeing that because Nickish got in his way. But Bunch did a great job of circling and got himself out for that open shot. Great start for Eastern in this second period.
Now, danger the other way as it's right out front. Chubiala turns out aside, and it's kicked back to the top of the slot. Now, wait. He's knocked aside as he comes across the blue line. Back behind the net is Leonoff. Leonoff gets it off over to the far side. Wait, trying to add an Ordigger to his bench, and that's going to cause some frustration amongst the players there in black.
A tad bit. But it's great to see Dawson Bunch come back this year. He wasn't sure at the end of last year if he was, but that kid can play hockey. He's outstanding. The Eagles were real fortunate to get him back this year.
Well, and we'll see this at the next stoppage when we watch the replay. That goal was 100% a Dawson Bunch hustle play. He beat out the player to the puck down in the corner, beat out the icing, and then beat the player with skill to get back to the top of the zone, pick the spot through traffic, and find the back of the net.
And that's his game. He doesn't let up. He's constantly moving. If you watch him, he never slows down. He's going 100%. And you're right, that's a typical Bunch play.
And now a chance out front, and Chubiala sucks that one in.
Chubiala,
let's take a look here at the replay real quick.
He just played well tonight.
And you can see Bunch, just with the effort there, beats that out, circles into the corner, sees a spot at the top of the zone, picks his spot, tickles the twine like it's nobody's business.
And if you look how Bunch circled around, and I swear he's looking at Nickish. Nickish got right in front of the netminder, Burkhart, and he couldn't see it. Outstanding job by both of them.
Bouncing puck in front of Luke Chubiala. Does a good job of reading that. He's on the smaller side for a netminder, but he's got some of the best puck vision that I saw last year here at the URC, and now that he's caught up to that speed. I had a chance to sit down with him at the ACHA showcase. A good screen out front by Shake there for Tech. I had a chance to talk to him about his expectations for this year, and he's got some big expectations, not just for himself, but for this team. And I think we're seeing that so far.
Well, I do. I mean, we mentioned in the first period, you know, he's got a year under his belt now, and he's playing totally a different brand of hockey right now. But he's real quick with his pads. He's a butterfly goalie, and his pad movement is very, very quick, and he moves great left to right. And he's shown it tonight. He's played outstanding, as has Burkhart for the Ordiggers.
That one again clangs off of the iron. That's the second Ordigger shot, one on each side of the ice. to hit the post. They're a crossbar away from winning 3 posts tonight. Unfortunately, no ACHA points in the standings for that one.
And that's why you're the best play-by-play guy ever. You get that in-depth, dig deep analysis.
Bouncing puck almost back off of the backside of Burkhart there. Just try and keep it a little interesting. High and off the glass there. Turnover in neutral ice as that one's put hard behind the net.
I think Clark's the one that blocked that down. Nice job by him to stay in the front of that shot. Oh, here's a nice break.
That one off of the shoulder of Burkhart, courtesy of Carson Kendall. He was itching to get one. Now Eastern right back at it. Through the legs of the defender out front. Carson was there again. But now here come the Ore Diggers heading the other direction. It's Keener across the blue line.
And that was Jelinek that fed him on both of those. Nice job by him also. Good heads-up play by both those players.
And you can see some of the lines for both of these teams starting to gel a bit. There's a shot taken by Aaron Keener again for Tech. He was waiting for the rebound on that one. Hard shot across the ice. And Jelinek going to beat that icing out. This is how Eastern scored their last goal. And Jelinek beat up a bit behind the net. Fed out front. And Burkhart again swallows it up. With 12:27 left in this second period.
Jelinek bunch play real similar styles. They're constantly going. They don't take a rest out there on the ice. They're always moving. You never see either one of those two players standing around. But I really like what I'm seeing out of Eastern. They're continuing to attack, and it's still causing the Ore Diggers some problems. They're chasing them around a little bit more as this period's been going on, and that's that relentless style Eastern playing.
The bunch again sends it near side. Rack picks it up for the Diggers. Now a battle in front of the home shoot door. As Eli Nickish going to put pressure on the puck. That's sent down the ice right to the skates of Carrier. Now Holland, he's got the 1 goal so far, looking for a second. That one pushed up ahead. Nobody able to find the handle on it. And now sent all the way back. Chudiawa plays that off into the corner instead of just covering it as Holland closed in. Good heads-up play by Luke, and he's going to snatch that one with the glove. His 16th save of the day with an exclamation point.
But I do like how I'm watching the Eagles defense been collapsing in it a little bit more. So they're actually taking some of the angles away from the Diggers. And that's nice to see also because that helps the goaltender out with his vision. So excellent job so far by Eastern.
Shot taken near side corner, and looks like that one's going to go all the way up into the netting.
And if you notice, Tyler, we kind of mentioned the first period. I really like what I'm seeing at the back checking by the Eagles also. They're really busting themselves to get back into the play, and that's nice to see. It's refreshing.
That one tipped and up over the top of the glass. That one clearly banging off the glass there, but they'll bring that one back. Another reset here on the Eastern Washington end of the ice. But you talk about that hustle, Gary. That's Eastern is trying to be the first one to every puck, which is honestly every coach's dream.
Yes.
You want them to win those 50-50 pucks. You want them to close out. You don't want them to check each other, but that'll come with time.
Yeah, but at least they're finishing the check. So
they are.
It's either against the Diggers or themselves. At least they're finishing the check.
Now with some speed is Shake, and there's going to be a penalty behind the play. Shake is going to be very frustrated with his own player on this one because he had a clear walk into the zone.
I think it's Kramer that's going in. He took a shot. No, it looks like
it's Elam again.
Well, Elam did it, and I'm not picking on Kramer by no means, but he did a nice shot on one of the Easterns coming out, and that's when I heard the whistle, so I thought they got him for it. But no, it is Elam.
I didn't catch what they called on him. But he's going to take his second 2-minute timeout of the day. 11:01 left in this second period. Eastern Washington 1 for 2 on the power play so far. They'll try and make it 2 for 3 here as Lusk picks it up. Right back to him. Deflected out front and swallowed up by Burkhart.
But this is
it'll be an interference call.
This is a golden opportunity for the Eagles right now. That to get a 3-goal lead, that would be really, really big right now with the way the crowd's behind them.
Especially over a team like Montana Tech. This is not a pushover ACHA team.
No, not
They
at
play
all.
in a very tough conference in the Mountain West.
And they played Boise State well. I watched their games on the stream, and they played them well. And Boise State's always talented.
Lusk fires it across the zone. Looking for Dzurkis up top. Dom plays with it. Backhand over to the far side. Now back to the near side to Lusk. He can't handle it cleanly. Going to go back to Dom. Dzurkis through the middle. Smith tipped that one, but just a bit too tall. Now near side to Lusk. He's going to pick his spot. Looking for the back door. And Eastern just a touch off the mark here. Now back to Lusk. Dzurkis on the far side. Makes one man miss. Takes a couple more steps, and that one top shelf too tall. Off the wall and all the way down the ice. And Lusk, first one there. No icing as there's still 50 seconds left on the penalty. This one tipped at the blue line by Eastern Washington. Kendall going to have to give chase. But we're just playing a 200-foot game of catch here. Now back up to Kendall. He touched it, so no icing here. But still no possession for Eastern Washington either. Arver tries to put that one goalward. Nobody in the slot for the Eagles, and that's going to go all the way down to Chubiala. Dzurkis now near side. Touched by Arver. That's going to go behind the net of Burkhart. Eastern trying to make him make a mistake. But no sustained possession here for the last minute or so of this penalty. And the Ordigger is going to get away cleanly from this. The mishandled puck in the slot, almost with an opportunity by Carrier. Far side now to Coates. Right out front. And I thought Luke was going to get that one, but just nothing that he could do. Point blank range from a J.J. Person.
Yeah, there was absolutely nothing Subala could have done on that one because what you got to give the Ordiggers credit on that one. They didn't let up, and they kept moving. Luke initially made his move to the right, which was a great play by him, except the Ordigger got the puck, came back around on him, and the net was pretty wide open. But again, Shubiala did a great job of defending that area that he had. But, you know, we were talking, you were just mentioning what I saw at Eastern, even though they didn't score on that power play, just how they cycled, how they kept attacking. That's a whole different style for Eastern, and it was good to see, even though unfortunately they didn't get a goal. But that's going to bode well for them playing that style. They just got to keep that up. Keep attacking the Ordiggers. Because they're moving the puck extremely well. And again, Burkhart, he's made some outstanding saves, or there could be easily 2 or 3 more goals on the board for Eastern if it wasn't for him. But the Ordiggers aren't going to go away. Like I said, they played Boise State tough, and they're a good hockey team.
Well, score line now 3-2 with just over 8 minutes left in the second period. And the Ordiggers in control of the puck, or at least they were for a moment. Here comes Eli Nickish. He's going to use his speed. Tries to get to the puck first, has his stick lifted from behind by Ash. And Tech now again looking to build out the other direction. Another good hip check.
I think that's the second one McGowan's thrown out there.
I think so.
That's a great check. It really is. I'm surprised it's not used more often. It kind of went away.
It stood up there at the blue line just about as Kramer tried to bring it into the zone. Eastern looking a little lackadaisical here the last few minutes. Not in a real hustle in their own end. Feeling a little bit more confident in their play here as they're looking to pass it through the neutral zone. And now back behind the play is Kelly. He's going to take a shot. Goes up top off of the glass and bounces all the way back out front. Had Chubiawa stood up half a second quicker, that one may have been off of his backside and into the net.
That was a strange bounce off that backboard.
That was a heck of a shot by the Orediggers. I believe that was Riley Kelly that put that one on net. Near side to Waite. Go back to Elam. Waite has it knocked off of his stick again as Keener going to feed it near side to McKay for Montana Tech, and that's going to go up into the netting as it's cleared. And another face-off coming just to the glove side of Luke Chubiawa.
You're starting to see the Orediggers putting a little bit more pressure on Eastern. They're kind of trying to use some of their speed in Eastern zone and get Eastern chasing them a little bit, and that's what he's got to be careful of.
Elam sends it back behind the net. Looking for it out front was McCarthy. The Eagles turn that one away. That one out of the zone, and that'll be an offside as McCarthy touched it up. He didn't realize it had come across the blue line when it came back to him.
Russell did a nice job of knocking the puck down in their zone, and he kicked it on out and got it in the neutral zone. Good heads-up play by him. It's been an entertaining game, though, Tyler.
It has been. I mean, a 3-2 contest. 34 minutes into this one so far. The combined 42 shots so far between these two teams. Lots of action in front of the net. Lots of big saves from the netminders as well.
Yeah, both goalies have played outstanding tonight. But you can kind of get a sense in the crowd. They're ready for another goal. They want to erupt. You can just kind of feel it.
They are. And I don't know if you could pick it up on the broadcast here, but after that last goal, this crowd let Montana Tech hear it. This is a very smart hockey crowd here. Now Arver having to give chase. He'll have to beat off Carrier. He gets there first. And DeZerkis can't hold on to it, but he separates the man from the puck. Now near side to Arver. Arver plays the body instead of the puck. 6'2" with that probably 78-inch stick out there for Arver. Looking a little bit like Zdeno Chara. Back to him. Missed it, trying to go through the legs and get fancy. He's still waiting up at the near side. Touch towards the center. But Ratch going to be there first. Now again, back to Arver. One touch, lays it off for DeZerkis. DeZerkis back to Arver, kicked away at the last second by the skate of Ratch out front. This one high and off the glass, bouncing back all the way to McGowan. A dangerous cleanup attempt by Shake. Now Lusk looking to use his wheels, gets past the last defender and is taken down, spun around, and they're going to say no call there.
Whoa.
And a big hit behind the play by DeZerkis, and he's going to head back to the bench. As action on the other side, still waiting down the ice is Lusk. He's all by himself. Forehand right in and out of the glove of the netminder. And Eastern Washington getting a little too close there. I couldn't tell who that was, but this one is starting to get a little bit chippy as Rash was taken down behind the play in front of the Zamboni door by DeZerkis. He stayed on the ice for a second, and as the play was coming back the other direction, you could tell that he was a little bit slow to get back to his feet, skated down the ice as the puck was coming back the other direction, allowing Lusk to go towards the net. He went all by himself, but Burkhart with that quick glove able to slap it down, and then some extracurriculars as Eastern Washington thought that puck was still on the ice, but The Orediggers were certain it was covered up by Burkhart, and they didn't like any questions about that.
No, but that was great hustle play, especially by Lusk. He was looking at, but it looked like Jelinik's the one that actually looked up and saw Lusk breaking down on the near board. Perfect pass to him, broke him in, and but again, Burkhart, he's played extremely well, and he shut the door on that one.
Shot from the top of the zone, just off of the mark. That time it was by McGowan. Puck back down low. Eastern with this system, trying to get the puck behind the net and feed it back out front. Hard for the netminder to know where the puck is that way. Now backdoor, Jelinek looking for another one. Good post-to-post lateral movement by Burkhart. Keeping this one at 3-2. Through traffic again, backhanded forward.
He's extremely quick going left to right. Big hit by...
Is that Smith?
No, that was Josh Boot.
A big hit in neutral ice. And they're going to call that one a hand pass as Jelinek had it, slapped it down, and he was physically removed from the puck there. Nothing wrong with that, but then Eastern Washington came and picked that up, and they'll call that a hand pass. So we'll send the action back out into neutral ice. Good to see trainer Jose over on the Orediggers bench. Doesn't look like he was in too much of a hurry to get over there, which is typically a good sign. Nickish with it. Tries to put it on net, comes up just a bit short. Now again, battle behind the net. Looking for that to the slot. Now from the really high slot up top. Clark gets that one almost sealing style as Bunch back in his own net. Bunch has it, almost loses an edge, able to hold off the attacker. Slapped with the stick, able to hold on to it still. Now Bunch, parallel to the blue line, going to bring it in. Then just casually kind of let that float out front. Looked like he was trying to get Burkhart to follow him around the net and just let the puck go.
It looked like Burkhart poke checked him. Right when he got on top of it, looked like he shot his stick out there and it went off of it.
Well, that'll prevent the shot 9 times out of 10 there. Well, back into neutral ice to Holland. As the Eagles just try to dump it down. I'm going to say that was an icing.
Huh, that's interesting. But I gotta give the referees credit tonight. They're letting them play. I mean, there's been some major hits out here, and they're just letting them play, and that's good to see. Let the players decide to do it rather than the referees get involved. So you got to tip your hat to the refs tonight.
I think that's one of the things that we see at this level sometimes is the officials trying to keep these hard-hitting games kind of in check, but there's nothing really malicious out here happening. It's just good, hard checks between two hard-hitting hockey teams.
Yeah, I haven't seen anyone taking any cheap shots.
Puck up to the top of the zone on the far side. And coming up in 2 minutes, stick around as we've got another intermission interview with our friend Reagan down below. 1:52 left in this second period. But sounds like she's going to try and speak with Dawson Bunch here at the intermission. Get his thoughts on a few things. Face-off coming, glove side of the Eastern Washington netminder in the shadow of the catwalk. That one's sent back and around the corner. And now coming into the zone, it's Benoit. He gets it and tries to get that shot on net. Still giving chase without his stick out there is Myers.
Wade did a great job of putting his body in front of the Ordigger, or he would have had a break off of that one. Good heads up play by Wade.
That one poked away. It's going to go over into the corner out front and just past the stick of Delici. And now here come the Eagles the other direction. Waite has it, just over 60 seconds left in this period. That one backhanded in and around by McGowan. High flipping puck. That one will land right on the center stripe, and Chubiawa all the way out to grab that one. And they're going to call an interference on Eastern Washington here, as it's going to be Jeff Leonov, his first time on an Eastern Washington score sheet. He's going to have 2 minutes to sit there and shake it off while he thinks about interference. Next week, next Friday, Taylor Swift releases her, 13th studio album? Well, guess what? There is a Taylor Swift night here at the EWU URC. You can get your tickets right now by scanning that QR code. Join us for Taylor Swift night here in Cheney next week. Eastern Washington, their first penalty of the game, coming 19-14 of this second period. It'll be Leonov, 2 minutes for interference. And that'll likely extend over into the third period here. So just as the Orediggers started the second period down a man, Eastern Washington likely going to start the third with only 4 skaters out there. Doing a good job of cycling the puck, and now a foot race. As Nickish thinks about it, he's just going to casually put that one on net. Just add one more shot to the netminder's total.
But you notice what Nickish did extremely well on that one. He went out there and he kind of slowed himself down, ate some clock up. Then he kind of just pushed the puck toward the netminder, which ate up more clock. Then he went and charged into the net, and it made the goal. He had to kill at least 6 seconds by how he played that. Outstanding job by Eli.
He did an interesting tactic by Burkhart there, because he was just kind of waiting with his puck hovering over. And then when Nickish came in to put some pressure on him, he got a little offended that he came in and chased the open puck.
Yeah,
and I totally get the first couple that he was upset about. Those were a bit late, but that one, he was a bit of a bait there. And they're going to say this is the end of the second period. So after 2, it's Eastern Washington 3, Montana Tech 2. The goals in this period coming from Dawson Bunch for Eastern Washington and J.J. Person from Montana Tech. Stick around here for just a few minutes as we will have our intermission interview with Reagan, and I believe she's going to grab Dawson Bunch. Shots 26-20 in favor of the Eagles so far. And they will start this third period down a man for the first minute and 14 seconds. But I am excited to hear from Reagan as she talks with the goal scorer from this period, Mr. Dawson Bunch. And Reagan, are you ready for us to send it on down to you? Well, it looks like you'll have to unmute yourself on this one, Reagan. That's on me. Still learning.
All right, Dawson. So walk us through that goal. Kind of what did you see on that play?
Well, my left winger, he gave me a good chip off the glass. It gave me open lane to chase the puck. I ended up beating their D-man, curled around and kind of walked up on the top, and it was a lucky shot, and hopefully gladly.
And how big was that goal for kind of swinging momentum back there?
Oh, it's good. I mean, right after the bench was going, the teammates were electric, and it helped us a lot.
Perfect. And one last question. Was there kind of any extra motivation for you coming into this one here tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Last year, I had pretty much a season-ending injury in the second period of the first game, so I'm really excited to be back out the season. And, yeah. So.
Awesome. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Reagan, thank you so much down there interviewing our players today. Coach Joe White, the last one, and there you heard from the goal scorer from that second period, Dawson Bunch. He's the reason the scoreline sits where it is, as a pure hustle goal leads Eastern Washington to that 3-2 margin as we head into the second intermission. We'll step away and be back in 15 minutes. You're watching Eastern Washington University ACHA Men's Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for the third period of action in the home opener here in Cheney between the visiting Montana Tech Ore Diggers from the Mountain West Conference and the hometown Eastern Washington Eagles representing the Pac-8 Hockey Conference here in the ACHA. Eastern leading 3-2 after 40 minutes, but we'll start this period with 4 skaters on the ice as Jeff Leonoff going to serve the remainder of his interference minder. My name is Tyler Pisani, joined as always by Gary Allen. And Gary, it's been a heck of a way to kick off this season so far. Packed house, 5 goals in the first 2 periods. What do we got here for period 3?
Well, what's interesting, the Ore Diggers, they kind of slowed Eastern down toward the end of that period, which boded well for them. Eastern just continue what they're doing. They're as long as they keep putting the pressure on Montana Tech, keep doing the back checking, and control that neutral zone, they definitely are going to be tough to stop. But you got to look at the depth miners. Both of them played outstanding. Shibiala stood on his head, as has Burkhart for Montana Tech. But, I look at Montana Tech. Elam's had an outstanding game. Ratch has an outstanding game. You can go down there. They're playing really well. But then you look at it, Eastern, Kowalak had a strong second period. Leonoff had a strong second period. You got Bunch and you got McGowan played extremely strong. So it's been an actual kind of an interesting contrast from a period and a half where Eastern just dominated, and then kind of the Ore Diggers put their will on them a little bit, got them to chase them. So Eastern just got to go back and do what they did in that first period. Just put a lot of pressure on the Ore Digger, make them chase them, and they'll be in good shape.
26 shots for Eastern Washington, able to find the back of the net 23 times. 20 shots for Tech, able to find the back of that net twice. Once in each period for the Ore Diggers. The officials just sorting out the final details here before they get set on the ice. Had to wait for the Waters to get to the Ore Digger bench. And now that those have been delivered, the men in stripes heading towards that center logo to get us underway in period number 3.
One thing I have noticed, and I'm not sure if it was the Ore Diggers or if Eastern got maybe a little bit tired. Eastern did an outstanding job for a period in the quarter of blocking up the passing lanes. And toward the last 3-4 minutes, the Ore Diggers started to get a little bit more of the lanes open for them. So Eastern needs to focus on that. If they do, they'll be in good shape. They just got to kill this penalty. They can't give any momentum to Montana Tech.
And just like that, not only are they looking to kill it, but Dom looking to add another tally. Eastern Washington at one point last year led the entire ACHA in shorthanded goals. And it's because there is no quit in the forecheck of this team. Doesn't matter who's where. This one pushed ahead again, and now with some more speed, Eastern looking to come the other direction, and Waite smartly dumps that one in and just looking to kill a few more seconds.
And that's great heads-up play by him. That did eat up at least 3 more seconds by doing that rather than trying to take the puck in himself. But I remember last year we were joking. Eastern was so used to taking penalties. They played better shorthanded. And I know it sounds strange, but they played great shorthanded last year.
Well, and Eastern for several years, didn't matter who the coach was, they were always at the top of the nation in penalties. And I know that's been sort of a black spot for the program over the last few years, and that's something that head coach Joe White has vowed to correct. And so far, with just 1 penalty on the night, Eastern's doing a pretty decent job.
They did play well shorthanded. You got to give them that, Tyler. You got to give them that.
I mean, it helps when you get a 20-minute break there in the middle. It's basically 2 1-minute shorthanded plays. And a dangerous bounce to Holland. He scored the first one for Tech, and that one turned away by Chubiawa. Big hit on the back post. Jelinek can't get to it. It's going to sink to the stick of Ash. in neutral ice.
Again, that was McGowan that used the body on that one, and he's throwing his body well tonight. Well-timed hits by him.
Eastern very patient with the puck here in this third period. Really, it started kind of halfway through that last period, taking the passes in their own zone, not forcing it to get down the ice. And Montana Tech is really having to battle just to gain possession of this puck, and they're doing a really good job of it. But it's just extra effort to control that puck that we might start seeing later in this period. Which one of these teams really is more fit when you start getting into one team that's flying down the ice and the other one that's having to battle each time they get into the zone?
Well, and that's where that pressure that Eastern was putting on them will bode well for them. If they continue with that, that will wear down a club because they're constantly looking over their shoulder and losing a lot of energy with the pressure that Eastern's been putting on them.
Back into neutral ice. Clark for Eastern Washington across the center stripe and now sent all the way in, and Bunch going to pick it up near side for the Eagles. He leaves it off for Eli Nickish. The high dump, it'll be a foot race now between Clark and Kelly. Clark gets there first, but too close for an icing. Send behind the net. Now again in that near side corner. And the Eagles looking to use that speed coming through the neutral zone. Bunch turns on the Jets across the blue line. Now a shot taken from the top of the zone. First player back in is Russell. He gets just enough of it to get it back down the ice before he's put hard into the glass. Smith, he opened the scoring today, looking for his second one there, but chested away nicely by Burkhart.
But that a nice little spin around by Smitty.
Well, and I don't think half of the Ore Diggers out there realized that he had the puck. They were all skating up towards the point, and he had circled back around and almost got a one-on-one there with Burkhart. And Arver using the body back behind the net. Can't find the puck, but he's able to dislodge it enough to get it to Smith. And now that's going to cause Arver to go to the box a little bit too much there behind the net. And as we talked about it, Eastern with back-to-back penalties in this one. 4 minutes and 19 seconds. I believe that was an interference call there.
Well, Robert would have been okay with that, but he gave that little extra shot.
Just that one too many.
And that's when the referee said that's enough. But I tell you, I'd be remiss. A kid that's really having a strong game for Eastern tonight is Keegan Clark. He's played outstanding positional hockey as a defenseman tonight. He's done well.
Now a chance for DeZerkis. He's got Benoit to beat. He feeds it up to Nickish. Nickish, backhand back of the net with the Eagle flap towards the crowd, lighting the building on fire. We talked about the shorthanded goals, Gary. There's the first one of the season.
Well, and you look at it, the Durkis played last year, Nickish played last year. They're used to it. But outstanding job by Dom. He didn't quit. He actually got pinched in on. Nickish did an outstanding job, but just keep going forward. And Dom picked him up, saw him, and he just kind of pushed the puck over to him. Excellent job by Eastern. And that brought some life in this crowd because they wanted that goal. And that it'll be interesting to see how the Ore Diggers will respond after that, being on the power play.
That goal officially 4:30 of the third period. It was Eli Nickish from Dom DeZerkis.
But I really like what Eli did. He kept going. He saw Dom getting pinched off, and he just kept going toward the net, and the puck, Dom found him.
Still a minute 27 left on this penalty. Four goals tonight for Eastern Washington. And 8 different players with points. That's spreading the love around for the Eagles. It's not just one line that's able to find that space with the Ore Diggers.
And that's kind of how Eastern's played tonight. They've actually, all their lines have been really looking for their line mates, and they're trying to get the passes to him, and that'll bode well for Easter too if they continue to do this. But again, on that goal, Burkhardt had no hope for that one. That was not his fault at all. That was just a nice job by Dom and Nickish going toward the net.
Well, and that backhand shot by Nickish, it looked like he was going to drag that across for a forehand, and just that quick release on the backhand. You're right, Burkhardt, not a whole lot that he could do there.
Well, I think Burkhardt thought he was going to come across, and he kind of slid over there, and it kind of opened up that 5-hole a little bit, and Nick was smart enough to just push the puck from, but Burkhardt was just kind of hung out to dry on that one. But great heads-up play by the Eagles on that. But that goes back to that pressure they were putting on earlier in the game, too. They didn't let up.
Shot taken near side by Benoit right into the midsection of Chubiawa, his 23rd save of the night.
But he moved well to his right on that one. He's just played an outstanding game tonight for the Eagles, plain and simple.
Well, the Eagles started off on fire. At one point, they had 10 shots to 2 by Montana Tech, and Tech has closed that gap over the course of the game, 28-25 in the shot totals.
Well, one thing Tech has done well, they've kind of spread the Eagles out a little bit more than what they did in the first period, and that gave them some opportunities for the shooting lanes. But Easter's regrouped well, and they came back. Even when the Orediggers got a shot, they came back and did some backtracking.
Jelinek, no look, pass back, trying to get it back to Jelly. I believe that was Kendall on the near side.
Kendall did a nice job of trying to get it back to Jelinek on that. He saw the two Orediggers collapse on him. He just couldn't get it by him.
Now here comes Lusk. He's got Arver near side and swallowed up by the pads of Burkhardt. Big hit on the far side by Arver just before that on the Orediggers. It looked like that one almost borderline boarding there. If he had been maybe a step closer or hit him just slightly harder, he might have went straight back to the box. So Eastern Washington getting away with one there.
A little iffy. I call it a little iffy on that one.
I mean, it's hard when you've got 6 inches over most of the other guys out on the ice. Sent in and around. Puck down low as DeZerkis waits near side along the wall. He leaves it up for Clark as the battle's still down low. Smith finally able to get away with it. Backhanded it and sticked away by Burkhardt. DeZerkis looking to use his speed. Lets that one float. Now all the way to the right side. Out front. Loose puck. And Clark continues to battle for that one. He saw it floating around. The officials blow the whistle. And he's going to wisely skate away. 12:53 left to play.
Well, what I liked about what Clark did on that one, he just snuck down there in the net. No Ordigger picked him up and watched him. And he was smart enough to realize that. He just went down there looking for that open shot. And Burkhardt did a great job of shutting that door, but you got to give credit to Clark for sneaking in.
Well, and tomorrow night, these same 2 teams, Eastern Washington looking for a penalty there. But these same 2 teams do battle. Get your tickets, $10 online at Eagles, EWEagleshockey.com, or just scan that QR code right there on the page as DeZerkis is going to send that back around. Pushed out front, nobody there in a white jersey as Eastern getting some fresh skates off of the bench. Nickish looking to lay a hit there. Instead, disrupts the play enough to get it back behind the Orediggers net.
I tell you, Eli's had a strong game tonight. Just from the drop of the puck until now, he has just played outstanding.
Easy touch pass out front. Nobody there as it was McGowan, the only one on that side of the ice. He was way up at the point. Good heady play by Eastern Washington. The Orediggers now looking to use their body to come back the other direction. Nickish having to hold off Ash. Bunch with it. Makes a couple of men miss. Gets it to the corner and then is finally dislodged from the rubber. It's going to go to the far side now to Boot. He feeds it back down low. Nickish with it again. Eli feeds it up top to his brother Jacob. Dangerous pass, or dangerous shot rather, as it bounced back out front. And Eastern not able to hold on to it. So Kelly's going to dump that in, head back to the bench, give the Orediggers a chance to get some fresh legs out there. Benoit again has it, slaps it back in. Across the blue line goes Holland. He's got a man out front. Couple of guys in the slot, but nobody there can find the puck. As Carrier kind of fell over the top of an Eastern Washington player out front. And that one by Leonoff just off the mark. Bounced off into the corner. And now McCarthy for Tech. He's going to kick that, and it's going to be an icing as nobody there to touch it up. 10:23 left to play in the third period.
Well, one thing I really like, and I think that was started back when Eastern played Logan Lake last weekend, the coaching staff got to start thinking about putting lines together. And if you look at it tonight, you got the Nitschke brothers with Bunch, excellent line. And they're really starting, I think, developing the line combos that they wanted to. So those two games last week, even though this is a BC team, I think the coaching staff learned a lot about how they want to start forming their lines, and you can see it tonight how well they're playing with each other.
Well, there's been a lot of talk about what the score was last week and how that went down, and not to talk poorly about this team at all, but I'm not sure that anybody expected them to go up there and win. But as you said, sometimes playing those teams, seeing what happens when you have to battle out of your own end, really develops those line pairings.
We're putting a little pressure right now on the Eagles.
Yeah, Boot snatched that one out of the air just outside of the crease, and now here comes Lusk. He's got Coates in front of him. Jelinek on the near side. Goes top shelf and doesn't even have to worry about it. Joel Lusk, first player with 2 points for the Eagles this season. His first goal of the campaign.
Well, like I was saying, you could just tell this could be a breakout season for Joel. He's got all the offensive skill and ability, but then you also got to give a little bit of credit. Joel was he thought about passing to Jelinek, and Jelinek, good job of continuing going toward the net, and I think that kind of fooled Burkhart, because I think he thought Lusk was going to pass the puck over to him, and he did. He buried it in the top shelf. Great play by Lusk and Jelinek on that one.
And Jelinek, and that's one of those things that doesn't show up on the score sheet.
Yep.
But Lusk doesn't get that opportunity if Jelinek doesn't crash that near post.
Correct. And I think that's what threw Burkhart. I honestly thought that, okay, he's going to pass the puck, start to make a move.
Let's take a look back at this goal.
And definitely pay attention to Jelinek, how he crashes the net.
And you can watch Burkhart kind of shades to that side, and that leaves that gap right there for Joel Lusk. Team effort there on the goal.
Yes, because he started to move toward his left a little bit because he thought the pass was going to go to Jelinek.
And that goal officially unassisted, 10:21 of the third period, Eastern Washington's fifth goal of the night.
But what Joel did a really good job of just burying it at the top shelf. If he went down low, I think Burkhart would have got it. So nice play by Mr. Lusk.
And there was no doubt about that one. That was a roof rattler for sure. Battle for the puck down in the corner. That's exactly what Eastern Washington wants. They're happy sitting there for as long as they can and just let the seconds tick, tick, tick away. And Tech has to be careful here. This one goes up top to Clark. Winds up, rips one just off the mark. But they're starting to get a little frustrated. You can see these kind of late touches. Another shot by Clark. That one in and out of the glove of Burkhart. But that's what got Eastern on that last penalty, was Arver got a little frustrated after the play and gave that one extra shove. So it shows that the refs are watching that. Montana Tech can keep their head on straight. They're playing a great game. They are not out of this one by any stretch, even with 8 minutes left to go.
But I want to piggyback on what you were talking about last week against Logan Lake. I think what really helped Eastern is yeah, the first game, they could throw that out. It wasn't a very productive, but you could see the improvement in that second game. They came out, yeah, they got beat, but the improvement that they showed, there was no head hanging down, and that showed a lot, and that goes to the coaching staff. Getting the players ready, don't let them get down, and you could see that improvement. And so that 2 games up there really, I think, helped Eastern out tremendously, even though the score wasn't that close. But it really started to help the coaches know what to work with.
Well, and just a quick shout out to the coaching staff, the goalie coach, Brody Ofterhide, the assistant coaches, Dmitry Lenov, Joe Petrella, and Joey Porco. And then, of course, the new head coach this year, Joe White. All of them have been putting in hours on the ice and off the ice all summer long. Here comes Bunch again. Gets that shot off at just the last moment as he's taken down. He's looking for the penalty. This one out front again to Nickish. But Bunch immediately hit the wall, turned and looked at the refs and threw his hands up. But the officials are nothing if not consistent tonight.
Oh, no question about it.
I mean, I know there's some these players would like maybe a few more calls here or there, but it's been pretty even on both sides. Leonov has it, and he's tripped up after the play, significantly after the play, and there's something to be said for letting the boys play, and there's something else to be said for allowing dangerous conduct and tripping a guy into the boards. And now this is exactly what we're talking about here, is it looked like some extracurriculars by Keener.
It looked like a
unless are they going to give that one to Jeff? They are. So Leonov going to get that one.
I think they got him with a cross check on that one.
They did. So this one, 13:04 of the third period. Eastern Washington 2 for 2 on their penalty kill so far with a shorthanded goal as well.
Well, you can see Dom down there talking to the referee, wants to know how come the netminder didn't get a penalty for at least a minimum of a trip on that one. And he's still yapping at the referee on that one. I think that one, they got lucky on that one.
At least this year he's got the A on his chest. Right. He's supposed to be doing that.
That's right.
Can't get too upset about that.
No. Dom knows the game. He knows what to ask.
And there he is with it. He's going to get a 200-foot shot on net. And Nickish looked to put some pressure on the netminder and then turned away at the last second. As you can see, he's a little frustrated maybe from the contact out there, as he's taken sort of the brunt of these after-play mishaps, we'll call them. Good stick there by Tech. I think that was Ripplinger that kept that one in. So sorry, that was Holland. He's now in the slot, puck up top. That's where they're going to go, is down low. Up top again to Carrier. Now over to the far side. Elam with it. He's going to go over to the far wall. Easily put out front to Holland. Holland puts that on net, and unable to get it around the goaltender's leg was Delici. That one just floated towards the back post, and he just couldn't get enough tape on it.
Well, now we got a little scrum going.
And that's definitely going to send Eastern Washington to the box, and we saw this coming, as this wasn't a...
now we got a big scrum going.
It wasn't getting out of hand. It wasn't malicious up until the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Well, there's Dom. He had enough. Harbor's in there.
It looks like they did send one player. I believe that was Luke Benoit that went to the locker room directly for the Ore Diggers. And we'll see who. I think Arver might be going straight to the locker room as well, but we'll see.
It's either him or Dom. I'd be surprised if one of them did. I mean, Dom had enough. I mean, he was trying to hold that one guy, and the guy kept hitting him, and he just fired, no, I've had enough. And he just started to throw some haymakers. Arver started to do that too. And again, that's their game. I mean, they're going to take only so much. And you hit it, Tyler. I think the frustration on some of the missed calls, I think it built up on both squads, and that just brought it out of them there.
Well, and at some point, like I said, there's one thing to be said for letting the players play. But when the conduct starts to get dangerous, that's why the enforcer role exists in the first place. And we don't have that at the ACHA level, really. But at some point, you're going to start having guys that feel the need to stick up for these types of issues.
Well, and that's where you got to give Robbie Arbert that, he'll take that role on. Same with Durkis. He'll take that role on. I might give them credit. They held off for a long time. Then finally they said, no, enough's enough. I think, and I couldn't see who the digger was that was in there, but he came up and gave a pretty good shot to the Eagles. And that kind of got them, okay, we've had enough, and let's try to settle this. But I don't think Easter's getting anybody removed from the game because you got Dom at the penalty box, and I can't tell who the other person is.
The other one is Leonov.
Okay,
he's still in there for 43 seconds. We saw Luke Benoit go straight to the locker room.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened there because it didn't seem like an official told him. He just kind of skated off right down the ice. And then, as you said, we've got Dom in the box for Eastern and Carrier in the box for the Ore Diggers. If you want to see this action tomorrow night, like I said, get your tickets. Head on over to EWEagleshockey.com and get your tickets because tomorrow there is going to be fireworks here. I mean, they won't let us have real fireworks, risk management, university, all of that, but you get the point. Fireworks on the ice.
I'm glad you clarified that. I
don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. People come looking for pyrotechnics, expecting a WWE show.
Yeah.
Turns out there's just a couple of fights.
And I'm still worried about the fire marshal. You're throwing out fireworks like, whoa.
Yeah, no, if we set out fireworks, fire marshal's definitely going to show up.
But minus the scrum right there, and then this game's been played well. I do like the Ore Diggers. I'll give them credit. There was no quit in this hockey team.
It looks like Dom might be headed to.
He might get an early timeout.
Yeah, he was putting his helmet on.
But yeah, Montana Tech. There's no quit in this hockey team. They're still battling really well. Only down 5-2. You got to give them credit for that. But it'll be interesting to see how the refs now will call this game. Are they going to clamp a little bit more now? Because this could get out of hand pretty quickly.
Well, and Jelinek was grabbing his face mask to indicate a face masking, which could be why we saw Benoit head straight to the locker room. Carson Kendall, unfortunately, learned that rule the hard way last year.
Yeah.
He came from a league in the KIJHL and the Spokane Braves where that was allowed, and it looks like a second player heading to the locker room. That's going to be Carrier for Montana Tech.
And that's what might have started that scrum down on the with the face mask on Jelinek. He might have pulled on that, and that's when Easton saw it. But the crowd agrees with the call.
Yeah, they do. This is a very lively crowd here, and you never know what you're going to get the first crowd of the year for any sports team, especially at a university level. But this crowd really seems to understand the game.
Yeah, they've been impressive. But I can't say enough about Easton. They have looked sharp tonight.
And here comes Dom out of the box. Looks like he's the one that's going to head to the locker room as well. And I think we kind of expected that. Listen to the crowd.
I thought it would because he threw some major haymakers in that scrum. I mean, he went over the top of the ref a couple times, and I was going to be really stunned if he didn't get an early break tonight. But,
So it'll be really important to see if these are game misconducts or game disqualifications, because if these three players are disqualified, that means that they also miss tomorrow's game. And it looks like also on the board for Eastern Washington,
Parker Waite,
who I'm not sure was on the ice. Maybe he was. So he's going to take a 5-minute major. So he's basically going to take a timeout for the rest of the game. And we will do our best to get an update on the actual scoring here. And what penalties were actually called. But what an exciting way to start the season. This is a second player.
There's another.
Is that Parker?
Yeah, he's leaving.
He's going straight to the locker room as well. Parker Waite from the Spokane Junior Chiefs making an appearance in Cheney, but only for 54 minutes and 21 seconds. As he is sent to the locker room, he'll have to wait to complete his first game as an Eagle.
Well, it's still interesting. I'm trying to figure out. I didn't see him there.
But Eastern had 2 players sent to the locker room. Tech had 2 players sent to the locker room. There is a second player in the box for Eastern now. So that makes sense why the Eagles are shorthanded, but it's going to be a 5-on-3 for the next 43 seconds. And now
Narber's gone too.
Now Arver's gone.
I was real surprised he wasn't going because he was in the middle of it right off the bat. I'm not really sure why Eastern is continuing to get all these people bounced. Well, it'll be an interesting 5 minute, 30 seconds. Right off the bat, there's a little push and shove off the face-off with Carson Kendall.
The Eagles going to really have to hold their shape here. The one good thing for them is that they're up 5-2 and kind of figured that this was going to continue here.
Yeah.
And they're going to send, and they are going to lock this one down as McCarthy going to take a 2-minute timeout.
Yeah. And the referees are going to have to do that. I think what they're going to do is just start giving 10-minute misconducts out and bouncing everybody out.
Well, that is a lifesaver for Eastern Washington here as it goes from a 5-on-3 for the next 30 seconds to a 4-on-3 and then basically eats up half of the remainder of that major penalty.
Oh, yeah, but they did not bounce McCarthy out. They just gave him a 2-minute. He's in the box. At first, it looked like the referee just waved his arm near off the ice, but he put him in the box. So,
linesman here having a conversation with the boys at the dot, letting them know what to expect here for the final 5 minutes and 25 seconds.
They had a little problem in that the face of those two, and and Kendall's chirping at him. So.
One sent in and around. As we said, still lots of hockey left to play here. And as I said, a very high hockey IQ for this crowd. I mean, just clearing the puck, they understood what that meant. Lusk looking to bring it back towards the front, has to dodge a man, somehow still have the puck, at least for the moment. Now we're back to 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute 26. Poked away by Lusk. Lusk. Backhand pass to Nickish. Nickish over to Lusk. Lusk tries to baseball bat it out of the air and just couldn't hold on to it.
That was a nice tape-to-tape pass, Eli, to Lusk. That was good heads up. He got the defenseman going one way, and then he did a nice little pass to him. Outstanding job by Eastern.
Those two look like they can be a dangerous pair as we get deeper into this season.
Yeah, right now I like how the lines are. They're really starting to feed off each other. They're playing now anticipatory hockey, and that's good to see because they know where they're going to be.
So across the blue line, pushed ahead. Now Boot using his body, and so does Chubiala. He dives out, covers that one up. He understands the gravity of the situation here with 4:26 left to play, 1:02 left on the minor penalty to McCarthy. 3:48 left on the remainder of that major penalty to Parker Waite.
I have not seen Luke Chiribala play like this. He has been outstanding, as has Burkhart. But Luke has just stood on his head tonight. He's made some outstanding saves.
Yes, this is a great way to start the season for the young man from Las Vegas. Former Las Vegas Storm netminder playing down there at LVIC.
And what's nice, his dad drove all the way from Vegas to watch the opening night game. So his kid's playing outstanding.
And really all the respect in the world to him because I've made that drive, and there's a lot of drives that I would make again, and that is not one of them.
I was talking to him. He said it was about 16 hours on the road.
It's 16 hours, and about 8 of it is through the desert by yourself with nobody within 200 miles of you. Another big hit at the near side point. Boot throwing the body everywhere.
Boots had a strong game tonight, too. There's several Eagles that have just played extremely well. Look at Jelinek. He does not slow down.
And he wins that puck, at least initially, and then was physically removed from it. 3:28 left to go as that penalty expires. 2:47 left on the penalty kill for Eastern Washington. If you're new to hockey, a major penalty, that doesn't go away. They could score 10, 15, 20 goals, and Eastern Washington's still going to be down a man until that penalty officially expires.
But you notice how Eastern's still attacking, and that's really nice to see.
And that is just confidence of a team that feels like they've got it this year. It feels like they've got it in this game and want to put on a good show for the new head coach.
Yeah, because they're looking for that breakaway, and they're just attacking the Ore Diggers right now severely.
And even on the back check there, Myers had it just a bit too tall.
But again, their back checking's been outstanding tonight.
Now Jelinek, he's got a chance to show his moves. He's going to go towards his forehand. He's tied up from behind and now tied up out front. That one touched up as Myers going to give chase. He took the long way, just about lost the race to McKay. Now Eli Nickish, he's knocked off of the puck. Still stuck in the Zamboni corner. Tech looking for it, gets it out front, bounces off a couple of players in the black uniforms. Up top to Elam. It's going to go across the ice to Kelly. Kelly feeds it down low to McKay. Chubiawa back up top now. Over to the far side, near side now. Holland tries it. He's already gotten one tonight. And Luke Chubiawa, full split there to keep the puck out of the back of the net. He is pumped up back there.
On that one.
You can just see it in his body language. And it looks like Burkhart staring at the bench, but I can't imagine they're going to pull him with 1:15 to go, down by 3. That one again off of the post, side of the cage again, and the official's going to blow this one dead quickly as McCarthy hit the wall hard. And then is that Smith?
He's gone. I thought he gave him a shot at the end. And I think it's number 9. McCarthy's gone. He gave him a shot after the whistle, the back Smith, of the head.
Yeah. And the officials here at center ice, they're going to talk it over. I mean, that to me looked like a.
It was blatant.
It was pretty obvious. It was after the play.
It was long after the play. I mean, he actually.
I'm not really sure what there is to discuss here.
But if you're a fan here tonight, could you have asked for anything more?
Oh, and are they gonna? This is interesting. Oh, are they gonna send him?
Well, they already booted him.
Oh, did they? I didn't even see him skate off. Okay.
Yeah, they sent McCarthy off the ice right away. But no, as a fan here tonight, you had everything. You had goal scoring, great play. You had some fighting going on. The crowd couldn't ask for anything more.
And that one again picked up by Burkhart. And again, we were telling you, fireworks tomorrow here at the URC. You are not going to want to miss it. EWEagleshockey.com is where you can get your tickets. If you want to be here for every game this season, you want to help support the team that supports the team, I'm talking about the Booster Club, head on over to EaglesHockeyBoosters.com. Check them out on Facebook. Find out how you can support this team and keep them healthy for the rest of the season. Sounds like they might need some Band-Aids, an ace wrap, all of that stuff that the Boosters help buy throughout the course of the season. And they really couldn't do this without the support of the community. 3 different levels, family, individual, and former player alumni. Again, at EaglesHockeyBoosters.com. 40 seconds left here in this one. The Ore Diggers not going to let up. And Jubiawa with another fantastic glove save. And that one after the play looked like a couple of players just ran into each other, heading to the same space on the ice. I'll be honest, I didn't actually see the contact.
Now they're chirping at each other. I know Rats was one of them for the Ore Diggers, and I didn't pick up the Eastern play. They were jawing at each other, but Shubiala, I can't say enough positive about how he's played tonight. Just unbelievable.
Yeah, I saw him before the game downstairs in the back hallway by himself, headphones on, and he looked locked in. And it was one of those times where you could just look at a player and go, okay, this guy's here for tonight, and he's shown it every minute of this one. Less than 20 here to play.
Plus, he's just a nice kid.
He really
plain
is.
simple. He helped us tremendously in Vegas on that.
And one more top of the zone. That one is Keegan Clark, making it half a dozen for the Eagles.
Good to see Keegan work. He's busted his rear tonight. It's good to see he got rewarded. Outstanding job. But I'm going to give a tip of the cap to the Ore Diggers player. I didn't see who it was. He accidentally knocked down an Eagle, and he went right to him. And you could tell, like, okay, this wasn't malicious. We just ran into each other. Good job by the Ore Digger on that one. That's a lot of class. But Keegan Clark, man, he's worked hard tonight. He deserves
Let's take a look back at this one real quick. And that one, you see it just as it goes in. The crowd is electric. And let's let them hear it, Gary. Here comes the crowd. And Cooper Coates, very unhappy with something that Eastern Washington said at the end of the game.
Man, there was a little stick action by him also on that one. So it'll be interesting, this handshake line. They may want to – I can't say enough positive about how Eastern played. The Oregon Diggers didn't quit, but Eastern just took it to them. For the drop of the puck, they didn't let up. They just kept pounding on him and putting pressure on him, and it worked to a T. Congratulations to the new coaching staff. They had this team ready to play tonight.
And that is the first win for your new Eastern Washington University head coach, Mr. Joe White, and he earned it in commanding fashion, 6-2. Gary, you need to stand up and take a look at this crowd. They are all here. Yeah. They are all on their feet.
No one's left
for this team.
No one's left. The catwalk's full. The roost is full. The stands are full. If you can make it out there tomorrow night, it should be packed again, because they saw a heck of a hockey game tonight. Like I said earlier, they had everything. They had scoring, great goaltending, great play by the Eagles. They had some fighting going on. I mean, I don't think the crowd could ask for anything more.
And they're saluting the crowd that stuck around. Your 2025-2026 Eastern Washington Eagles winning their first game of the season by a final score of 6-12. 10 different players with points tonight, as Joel Lusk, the only player on the team with 2 points, as he got both a goal and an assist. Your goal scorers tonight: Sean Smith, Jared Jelinek, Dawson Bunch, Eli Nickish, Joel Lusk, and that last one, a rocket from the top of the zone by Keegan Clark. The Eagles out shooting the Ore Diggers 36-29, but where it counts, winning 6-2. We'll be back tomorrow night right here at the URC as the Eagles take on the Montana Tech Ore Diggers for game number 2, and then join us next Friday for Taylor Swift night here in Cheney. You can find all the information and tickets to that at eweagleshockey.com.
And don't forget, if you're out there listening in Cheney, go down to Barrel House, because that's where the team's going to be down there. They would love to see you. And who would want to miss Taylor Swift night? I mean, seriously.
Can't get any better than that. It's a love story all in itself. For everybody here at Eastern Washington University Hockey, for our intermission interviewer, Reagan, for our team here, Kayla and Keller, for Gary Allen, my name's Tyler Pisani, watching Travis Allen almost fall down on the ice, saying good night, Go Eags, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.